Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Rig on Wheels show featuring MVT. This is, of course, your first ever and your only truck driver recruitment show. I am your host, Kameel Gaines, the CEO and founder of Rig on Wheels, truck driving recruitment agency. And here with us is our favorite internal recruiter over there at MVT. So it is Josue. So he's over there in Pierson's office right there in Mesilla Valley. And this is your ultimate destination for industry insights, news, hot jobs, driver tips, and recruitment tips. And since he is a recruiter, he talks to drivers every day, all day. We get the tea, the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay. So welcome. Thanks for joining us on a short notice.
No worries. I'm excited.
Okay, glad. Did you tell your kids to watch us?
Yeah, I told my oldest, but my oldest is actually in a track meet right now. So she's like, I'll try to log in and log off during time. Oh, that's fine.
She's so cute. And what about Big Ace?
Good. Weighs 12 pounds, big, keeps us up at night, but it's good.
It's good. So just a little secret, everybody. So his last baby, well, I don't know if it's your last. I'm not God,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it's your last. Okay. So
Yeah,
your
sure.
last baby and my first grandchild are a week apart. So my grandson, Makai, is 1 week older than Big Ace here. So they're both just so cute. So it's just so amazing. We always text each other baby pictures back and forth, and it's just great. And we're raising our kids in a bilingual household, both of us. So it's pretty good.
It's good. Yeah, for sure.
It's been wonderful. So you should see Makai when he knows, like the words for both. He's starting to recognize, when you just keep saying the same word over and over. It's good. It's wonderful to just see little geniuses. They just keep popping up. But anyway, enough about children. Sometimes they're a little overrated. So let's get to it. We're going to jump into the news. I do not have my readers. They might be in my purse, but I did print out everything, and it is in very large font because I couldn't find my readers. So I want to jump into the news right here. Let's talk about this diesel. It kind of is inching up on us just a little bit, but now it's up to 4.03 cents a gallon. Is just a little bit of an increase, not much of anything, but it is like 9.4 cents lower than this time last year. Now, of course, nobody is, just like Pierson said last week, nobody is very surprised that the Midwest is what did the largest significant rise. In the Gulf Coast, which is where MVT does majority of everything, is where it was the least significant. And that's kind of where it did a little drop. So that's pretty good for MVT. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you talk about diesel, guys, just make sure you're watching. Make sure you're watching your foot. Keep your cruise control on when able, except for in bad weather. Cruise control is a no in bad weather. But try to keep your cruise control on when you're doing things like cruise control, making sure you know your route. And then little small things like making sure your truck and trailer is washed actually helps with diesel. So I do want to throw that out there. That's a little bit of a housekeeping tip. something that happened today. I'm not sure how much you were looking at social media, or you weren't looking at social media, Josue, because you're not like the rest of society. But looking at the news or anything about the bridge in Baltimore. So there was a cargo ship. It seemed to have lost power right before this incident happened, but it collided with the Francis Scott Bridge, Key Bridge, and it did a partial collapse. And at 2 a.m., I don't know if it was 2 a.m. Central or Eastern time. I want to say Eastern since it was Maryland. But we definitely want to send our prayers to everybody. The last I saw, they did recover 2 people, but 1 body. Breaking news on CNN. I just saw 10 minutes before we got on here, and prayers to everyone affected. I know, I think it was like 5 cars and 1 semi um, went down in the water. So, and I could not read at all how long anybody was able to survive in the water or anything like that. I wasn't ready at all for that. But I know it's going to be ongoing recovery. It's definitely going to be investigation. How can we prevent this in the future? Because everything is going to definitely be a learning experience. And everybody, every time you cross over bridges as you're driving, everybody thinks about that. You know, that's something everybody thinks about from yay high. So we definitely collectively between Rig on Wheels and MVT want to send our prayers and support to everyone involved and affected. If you want to chime in at any time, you can.
No,
So
yeah, I mean, it's huge. I just, like you said, I don't have social media, but as soon as I walked in, we have a couple of TVs out here, and they were telling us, hey, watch CNN, and just the the pieces that I was able just to get and
yeah,
see. All these in my prayers for sure. It's just crazy, and it's just an awful, thing that happened. But like you said, it's a learning experience, and hopefully, everyone's good and they start, recovering more people for sure.
yeah, yeah. And the last bit of news that I definitely want to touch on, we like to talk about the spot market and the average rates here. So it just kind of help you, navigate through the financial waters. I'm trying to be like some type of poet when it comes to things nowadays. I'm trying to try this out. But the dry van rates are at a 188. Pathetic. But the reefer rates are chilling at 222. So for anybody that wants to play the lottery, that is $2 straight or $3, whatever. 222. You got that. And the flatbed is standing strong at 243. $2.43. So these figures are crucial when it comes to understanding everything, making sure that things add up. You need to have some type of Excel or spreadsheet sheet table when it comes to adding in what your diesel is and what your freight amount is or your rates are, because your numbers is what's important. It's not your feeling or anything like that. It's literally those numbers that are important. If you are the small business person, the owner operator, or anything like that, that is what is important. In trucking, we have a very, very small margin when it comes to profit. So everything makes a difference, not just one thing. Everything makes a difference. So definitely keep that in mind. And that is it for the news. Unless you had something that you want to share, that's it for the news.
No,
And
yeah, that's it. So far, everything's good.
that's it. Okay. So what we want to do is go to commercial, whatever commercial of your choice, Kayla, and then we'll be right back in 2 and 2. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. This is great that we are talking about this because it comes at a great time. First, Rig on Wheels, Faces of the Road calendar. The new calendars just came in. We got a huge shipment because everything was sold out. So let me just say that everything was sold out. That's a great problem to have. So when you get your new calendars now, they now come in plastic, and the back has a note section, and then you have your quote at the bottom. Okay. Now so each page definitely is going to be a celebration of the diversity of the role. Okay, because in trucking, whether you're a driver, or you're in an office, or any other type of enthusiast in trucking, we all different races, nationalities. We celebrate all different type of things, but not just that. This calendar definitely has all of our holidays and important dates in it. Like, for an example, in May, we have from May 14th through the 16th, we have International Road Check Week that's in there. So you will not be able to forget about it. So not only is this Asian Awareness Month, but it also has the International Road Check Week in here. And that will give us a spin-off, and we can talk about that. So this year, when we made the calendar, they had not come out yet with the two parts of Road Check Week as far as what they were going to talk about, or what they were going to be checking about. So it's going to be in North America. It's going to be for Canada, US, and Mexico. Is what they're going to do. So they're going to be doing about the brakes. So it's the tractor protection and anti-bleed back system, and then controlled substance and alcohol possession. So they're going to, when we talk about the brakes, they're going to make sure that everything is working appropriately when it comes to that. And then when we talk about the controlled substance, they're going to look for signs of alcohol or controlled substance use or impairment. They're going to examine the cab trailer for alcohol and controlled substance and conduct a query in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. So the tips are to make sure that you are for the carriers to make sure that you are enforcing all of the policies and rules and regulations, and the drivers to make sure that you're not in prohibited status. So the tips are: one, on the brake side, to make sure that you are doing your pre-checks in everything that you're supposed to do on that side. And on the drug and alcohol side, don't do drugs. It's really just that simple. Like the commercial said when we were growing up, don't do drugs. So those are the things. Those two things combined together is part of being a professional driver. And that is something on the Rig on Wheels show that we like try to bang in everybody's head over and over and over. We had in a Rig on Wheels meeting, we had a webinar that ended up happening, stemming off and happening from a Rig on Wheels meeting. And it was discussing the drug and alcohol portion of how so many drivers are in the clearinghouse and what that means for the industry, and things are starting to become legal, and the whole Violin and Crimea River. This is the thing. There are a lot of things that are legal within North America, okay? But every occupation, you are not able to do them. The issue, my opinion, which I consider law, but it's just my opinion, I want to put that out there for disclosure, but I consider it law, is trucking should not be your plan C, D, E, or F. Now, as an adult, you might have to reinvent yourself and go into a plan B. That's just being an adult. But it should not be a C, D, E, and F, because when you make trucking be your plan C, D, E, and F, you tend not to have respect for the industry until it's taken away from you. So, with saying that, let's make sure that we're doing what professional drivers are supposed to do. And if you're a carrier, making sure that in the clearinghouse, you're doing the audits in-house. So all of that is taken care of for your company, and you're not getting in any trouble with your fleet or for your drivers. Josue, what did you, I mean, you talk to drivers all the time and different issues that you're having with them. So I want to put the
Yeah, I
spotlight on
mean,
you.
no, for sure. I mean, I've pretty much heard it all. Just from, just drivers being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And even if I get a call that is a SAP driver, I try to just give them tips on, how to move forward with it. The importance of, just being clean, just doing if they want you to do a random drug test, I've heard it that they had to step out of the office and take care of some personal matters, but it comes off as a refusal, so that hurts them as well as if it was a positive. So I've pretty much heard it all. But yeah, I just I like to educate them. I like to kind of go ahead and the bits and pieces that I've heard from other recruiters or other drivers. I like to just let them know the importance of just being in a straight line, not doing drugs, and not taking any refusal just because I mean, in this industry, I mean that you're scarred, basically for life. As soon as we see something like that in the clearinghouse, I know people are human. I mean, it's a mistake, but it's a costly mistake that might even, like cost your career.
Yeah. And mistakes do happen, but that doesn't mean that you stay in this industry. Okay.
Right.
Mistakes happen. We all make mistakes, but sometimes, like you said, costly mistakes can cost your career. It doesn't mean that you're this horrible person. It just might mean that you cost your career and you might have to go somewhere else and have another career. Okay. So that's the truth. I was talking to another truck driver today, Drew. He's been in the industry for 10 years, and we were talking about CBD, and he was like, I can't do that. I'm a driver. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. He understood and he knew that. And it was about educating. He was like, yeah, all you got to do is educate yourself. I was like, hallelujah. But that is somebody that takes their CDL and their job seriously. Another colleague of mine, Marcus, that has been doing this just as long as I have for 14 years, he said the time has gone where drivers can leave one job and walk into another the same day or the next day. It's not working like that. It's working just as corporate. Trucking companies want professional drivers. Typically, drivers of the company is the first line of who represents ABC Trucking. So they want the the face of the company, which is a truck driver. They want that to be the best of what they have. That is competing against XYZ company. So they need the best. Again, always compare a truck driver to what? A pilot. You want the best of the best. We know that we've been having United and Boeing in the media here lately, right? I'm not going to talk ill of United. Everybody knows that's my favorite airline. I'm just saying that they've been going through a few things here, right? So I don't want to hear under any circumstances that United is giving a pilot a second chance.
Right.
I'm just going to throw it out there. So it's the same way I feel when it comes to a truck driver. Truck drivers have to make the type of common sense decisions that they have to make on a daily basis is a lot more than you and I, Josue. A
Yeah,
lot more. From the
yeah,
time that they step into that seat, they have to make a lot more educated and common sense uh, decisions. So I don't have time to hear a driver that runs a stop sign. That
right,
running that stop sign can take out so many people. It could be such a domino effect. So the common sense that needs to come behind it. Truck drivers, the job is so high level. So because being a truck driver is so high level, it deserves a high level individual to be in there. So we have to get back to that. We definitely have to
and
get
just
back to
to and just to piggyback on that, I think it's so important what you were saying to act like professionals. Just because even like in a personal matter, my father-in-law, truck driver for I think it's like 30 years, and every time we're hanging out at his house, he's doing yard work. He drinks like a beer or two, and he'll tell
that.
me, "Let's go to the store." And I even tell him like, "Are you driving?" He's like, "Oh no, like even just one little can, like I'm not gonna risk my CDL. Like
But
it's
love it.
bigger than just it's just bigger than that. Like this is my livelihood. For you is, clocking into work, you do your office work. For me it's my license, it's everything. So not even from here to the corner, or just because I drank a little small can, he's like, no, I'm not going to drive. You drive me. Let's go to the store, get whatever it's needed. But it's just like that level of professionalism, since even on your off time, on your reset, like it could even, you do a mistake there and it could even cost you, on your professional career. So yeah, I think it's very important being professional, and just acting professional for sure.
First of all, that's high level right there. So that's your father-in-law.
Yeah.
So let's just say you married well. So you married very high class. So let me tell you about that. So, in the words of my daughter, that's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man. So that's high class. He knows that this job takes care of his family. That's a
Right.
man, in the eyes of a woman. I'm just throwing
Yeah.
it out there for all the women. This is how we think. That's a good man. You want to enjoy yourself and whatever you do to enjoy yourself and all that good stuff. But he knows that this CDL is my livelihood, and this is how I take care of my wife and my family, and this is the legacy that I leave.
Right.
That is a job well done. So like when we leave this earth and we go on to the next, whatever your beliefs are, and we always want to hear job well done. That's that.
Yeah,
I don't want
I
to get to
agree.
crying because everybody knows I get emotional, but that's that. Every woman wants their significant other to be responsible. That's what
Right.
that is. So I just want to throw it out there. You married well. That's what
Thank
marrying
you.
well. You, your wife comes from good stock. But I want to jump back into and go back into the calendar because just I'm beep, beep, beep. I didn't read the quote. I talked about the notes. I was really excited about notes because I'm a note taker. So it could be where this quote means something to you or the calendar means whatever. I'm not going to police your calendar, but inclusivity is our fuel, diversity is our engine, and unity is our destination. That is the Rig on Wheels quote. So that is what's on the back of all of the calendars. And of course, because they are exclusive, um, they're going to be in now plastic. I'm sorry, Josue, yours wasn't exclusive. It was
No, it's
inclusive,
fine.
but it was exclusive. So Josue's did not come with plastic, but the new ones come with the plastic because we sold out of all the other boxes. So there we go. So head right over to the website at rigonwheels.com. Again, I do want to say this. If you need to order more than, if you need to order 25 or more, because we did have a company that has a DEI initiative. So they wanted to order in wholesale. We do that. So either reach out to us at 281 968 3100, 281 968 3100. You can call that, leave a voicemail at extension 1 or text, or you can just simply email us at recruiting@rigonwheels.com, or to contact us on the website and say it, and we will give you a call back so we can get your order done for the 25 or more. And we definitely appreciate all of the orders and everything. A lot of heartfelt went into celebrating the diversity of the road. Definitely. Okay, and this is the last Tuesday of Women History Month, so it's awesome. And in April, just a few days, it's going to be Asian Awareness Month. So that's awesome. I'm loving it. Let's go ahead and go to commercial. I know that Kayla said that she had a few questions. So we're just going to be throwing questions in and make it very interactive for the rest of the segment. Not the rest of the segment, but the rest of the show. So we're going to do that. So we're going to ask a few questions and then go to hot jobs.
Hello, everybody. I'm DeAnthony Davis. I'm a truck driver from Cleveland, Texas. I've been driving for 3.5 years now. I recently saw a podcast with Rig on Wheels on YouTube. I gave them a call. They was fast. They was efficient. They helped me out. I didn't really want to be over the road, so they got me a good read of the job. And hey, you should give them a call.
Thanks everybody for coming back. You know what? I have two things I want to say. One, and they kind of go together. So, Greg Martin on LinkedIn, thank you so much for saying this. Let me just read it. He said that we are covering the basics today regarding changing companies and drug use, and it's so important. I do agree with that, and thank you. Sometimes we've been doing this for so long and we forget that the basics is what's needed. We forget, or we just assume people know. Even if you've been in this industry a long time, it's still part of basics that we don't know, because things change or careers change. So many things happen that we definitely need to know, or you end up changing jobs. Like that's careers, but I mean that companies. So one company might do something different than another company. So all of that type of thing. So thanks. Now, DeAnthony, which is the driver that did that testimonial commercial for us, is the reason why Rig on Wheels actually does consulting for another company, where their drivers have to actually watch so many of the podcasts, certain amount or different segments of the podcast, because it does go over certain basics and real life stuff that is not maybe talked about in CDL school because they don't have the time for it. Or we do different segments for that particular company, things like that. So thank you, Greg, for pointing it out, because it just kind of went together. But let's see, Kayla, what question do you have for us?
The first question I have is, what kind of retirement plans do you offer at MVT?
Oh, perfect. The retirement plan that we offer here at Mesilla Valley Transportation is 401k with John Hancock. We match you dollar per dollar up to 4%. And then you're, immediately invested as soon as you get hired. Um, our payroll department usually on the third day of orientation, they sit down with the driver. And here at Mesilla Valley is we take a lot of pride, or we like to educate drivers to invest in their future. So I know that our payroll team on the final day, they go over, the importance of the 401k. They go over thoroughly, you match your dollar per dollar up to 4% with John Hancock.
All right. My next question is, what is the turnover like at MVT? Are you different than others?
We are actually, my VP Pierson, he's been looking into some numbers. What they're trying to do now is basically just go after different things, go after to help that number grow, or I mean, kind of like lower down, is basically we go based off on, driver's employment history now. So we go a little bit more into depth. Before, we used to just basically hire anyone and anyone that needed a job, and now I feel like we're being a little bit more selective on who we bring, because we want to bring in drivers that will consider Mesilla Valley Transportation a career and someone that could last here longer. So I know that employment history is one of the things that we are definitely looking at this moment, just to go ahead and, instead of being a revolving door for a driver, we want to just make sure that this is a career, that's someone that will stay here not just for 2 weeks, but stay here for 2 years or more.
So I can actually also piggyback on that a little bit, especially looking from the lens from the outside, being a third-party recruiter and having the opportunity working with other carriers as well. And a few things that Pierson actually implemented that is different than I see at other carriers or before he actually implemented it. So I wouldn't necessarily say that MVT, took everybody, but what I will say is they based it off of just the requirements, right? And it was first come, first serve based on the requirements. Now it's not like that. So the requirements is what gets you approved. What actually gets you to get a ticket in order to come to orientation is within these drivers that are approved and very much qualified, who are the best in this particular group. So think about it for everybody that's either watching or listening. Think about it more or less like corporate recruiting, the same way that Josue get hired. It wasn't that he put in his application and he put in his resume and it was first come, first serve for this position. It was of all the applications, all of the 100 applications, the interviews, and everything. He was the best for that particular desk that he sits in. He was the best person for the job. That is how it's going. So if there are 10 trucks available, there are 15 drivers that are more than qualified. They are fantastic drivers. Of those fantastic drivers, 15 of them, who are the best 10 that's going to work out, not just for MVT, but for MVT in that particular division. Because you also need to know that that particular division has certain customers. So every region works differently as well. So you have to look at it like that. So they're doing it more like corporate hiring, and that's the way it should be. When you're talking about hiring professional drivers, it can't be first come, first serve. That goes against the
And
whole professional thing.
And that's a
That's right.
great, way to put it. That's a great way to put it because we wish we could hire 30 drivers just for one position, but we have to kind of, like you said, if we have, 15 candidates and we only need, 8, 10 drivers, whatever the case might be, we'll get the best of the best, and just to help, retention and just to, keep the drivers here for a little bit longer time.
Yeah, because helping retention is not just a cliche word, right? You want your management, you want the career services, you want all of these folk to be spending time on incentives. How can we bring in better benefits? How can we do all of this stuff for the upper drivers instead of always having to think about the drivers that's always upset and complaining that my fingernail split or whatever is going on. You told me I'm only going to Kentucky and I got to cross the border to Tennessee 2 days this week, knowing that this is just what needs to happen because it's soft freight right now. So MVT is definitely investing a lot of resources to make sure that their drivers are happy, their current drivers are happy. So that means that they owe it to their current drivers to bring in drivers that are going to match that same type of momentum. Who wants to bring in pissy people into a wonderful, climate? That's just, people have to match your culture. That's just the way I
100%.
Jose
100%. And
pissy.
usually, usually our existing drivers, we get them in our recruiting hotline, and they're just like, hey, I have a driver right here next to me. I let them know how it's, how good it is working with you guys, how smooth it is. So it feels good, drivers, hey, let me pass you over to so and so. I have them on the line, from their phone, and you know and I start talking to the driver, hey, where do you live? Like, let me see what I could offer you. And so it feels good that even like our internal drivers, they know, the culture here, the environment here, and it definitely feels rewarding once they help us recruit as well.
Love it, love it. Well, what we're gonna do is go to commercial, whatever commercial, Kayla, you want to do. Look at you, you get to choose, and then after that, let's jump into those hot jobs because I don't want to run out of time because I'll just be talking and talking, and we'll run out of time. All right.
My name's Josue Fierro, and I am a recruiter. Mesilla Valley going on 3 years now. Before I joined the Mesilla Valley Transportation family, I was at JCU as a loan officer. I feel that I acquired some skills there, providing customer service, learning, to listen to the customer and, learning patience. I think that helped me out right now where I'm at with Mesilla Valley Transportation because I could actually apply those skills to what I do now, which is, helping drivers, getting them behind the wheel and getting them a job. So basically, what I do here in recruiting, it's something good. We for sure give jobs to drivers, so it feels good, that we help people. Um, Communication is great there in our departments, from leadership to employees. We have a good working environment there, and it feels homey. Like it feels like a home environment. It feels a family-oriented environment. So, yeah. Yes, I acquired skills here at Mesilla Valley Transportation. One of them would be knowledge of the transportation industry. I was not aware of the transportation. I was just more into financing, and I think it's good to know that transportation takes a big role in our country, and we do something good here. What made me apply to Mesilla Valley Transportation was basically word of mouth, the reputation that this company has. You see them everywhere on billboards, the trucks in the street. You see, you hear them in the news ads. So you see Mesilla Valley transportation everywhere, and you just hear from people here, local people saying that Mesilla Valley is great. It's a great company to work for, and I was excited to join. My life changed when I joined Mesilla Valley Transportation in a big way. And one of them was them, of course, providing stability, giving me a peaceful state of mind, knowing that I could provide for my family, knowing that I could do what I do every single day without worries of, job security, in other words. And they actually helped me out a lot as well as far as my daughter. She's 17. She wanted to get a first job in the summer. Marketing was able to go ahead and help me out, bring her in here as an internship over the summer, which she loved. She gained a lot of experience for her being her first job. Now she loves it. Now she wants to go to school for it and get a degree. So she's happy, and I'm happy. I would definitely recommend people to work here. It's ever since I walked here the first day, it felt like a family-oriented work environment. Everyone's smiling, everyone's friendly, everyone talks to you like if they know you for years. So for sure, if I had to go ahead and tell someone, I would definitely recommend someone to work here at Mesilla Valley. My name's Josue Fierro. I'm a driver recruiter, and MVT changed my life.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, Josue, you just make me want to tear up every time I see that. Oh, okay. Super, super. And then another little small thing. Okay, if y'all didn't know, Josue and I talk about our kids a lot all the time. We just proud parents. So Josue's daughter and my daughter are very close in age, and both of them have interned, at our work establishment. So yeah, a whole thing. It's a whole thing here with us. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the job. So Kayla, if you can throw up there Division 100, and I'm going to make this so super engaging. Well, really, Josue.
So yeah, for sure. Division 100 out of El Paso is one of those positions that we are in need of drivers here out of the El Paso region. Something that's attractive when it comes to Division 100 is just, the time you're going to be out. You're going to be out 4 up to 6 days out tops, in less than a week. And it's good pay. Anyone that has 2 years and above, you're at 55 cents per mile, and you're going to be making, about 1550 on a weekly basis, going to the Midwest and coming back to El Paso, strictly hauling dry van. And this is one of the most attractive lanes that we have right now out of El Paso, and it's taking heat right now, and it's we're getting a lot of drivers applying for this now.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk about it. Let's dig into it. The hiring area is 75 miles. If you could throw it back up there for us, because you don't want me to throw my readers on if I had to pull out my book. Really, I don't know where my readers are. But anyway, 75 miles, hiring area of El Paso. So they're out an average of 5 days, 4 to 6 days. So your average 1,400 mile length of haul is what we're doing, and they'll average about 1,500 a week. So between 1,450 and 1,540 a week. They will. So is one haul there, one haul back. Okay, 2,800 miles a week, and
Correct.
reset. Okay, and a reset is they'll have a reset, and home time is 48 hours at home. Got it.
Correct.
Got it. All righty. So basically, if you're 7,500 miles of El Paso, 6
75
months
miles.
experience, dry van, you're looking, so no touch freight. And you're looking to be out about 5 days, home for 48 hours. $1,500 a week on average pay, dry van, no touch freight. Like Pierson says, you don't have to have a hazmat, and your husband or wife will not have to hold you down once you get home. Okay. So the
Exactly.
next one, I'm right. I know I'm trying to crack all the Pierson jokes. But anyway, let's do Division 430. Kayla. Kayla, is this like a Vanna White thing or no? Yes? No?
No.
Oh boy. Okay. You got to tell me what it's like then. Okay, so we got Division 430 out of Jacksonville, Florida, 75 miles. Now, I do want to say this because out of Jacksonville, they always talk about this. Yes, it's tight. 75 miles out of Jacksonville, which is a very good hiring radius. So let me say that. You're out 5 to 7 days. This is one of my favorite ones. You're out 5 to 7 days. So you go out and you're going underneath. You see that the golf. And then when you come back, you're going back the other on top. But basically, all you're doing is I-10 is very easy. The only time you're going to hit some traffic is when you're going through Houston, Texas. That's it. The average pay is 11.25 to 12.25 a week, 2,500 miles a week, and you're going to do reset up to 48 home time. Do you need teams with this too, or just solo?
No, we could go ahead and definitely get teams on this Division 430. And, just to piggyback on what you said, it's what a lot of drivers like about this position is, for the most, driving, they're going to be just hanging out on the I-10. And like you said, anything, that it's going to be kind of like a headache a little bit would probably be just the traffic in Houston. But other than that, a lot of drivers, what I've heard is they're very attractive on the, on the I-10, on the route and how easy it is. But yeah, for sure, teams are always, welcome and excited to have them.
Perfect. So that's how that goes. Deborah, that just kind of gives you that idea. They do need teams for that one. So Division 150, where's that one out of?
That one
DFW?
would be out of DFW, Houston, and El Paso, Texas.
Okay, good. So DFW, Houston, and El Paso, the average is about 1,500 a week. You're doing about 3,000, 3,100 miles a week, reset up to 48, 48 weekly home time. You're home weekly, not weekends. It's weekly. I always like to say that, especially to my DFW and Houston folk. So let me say that again. You do your reset up to 48 hours, and it's not home weekends. So if you need home weekends, this is not, again, not the division for you. This is somebody that wants to be home weekly. This route takes 6 to 7 days. That's the reason why it's not weekends. Just want to throw that out there. So you have to live within 75 miles of DFW, El Paso, or Houston, Texas. It is dry van. Again, it's the same thing that Josue and I said. You don't need a hazmat or any special endorsements after your name. So your wife or your husband will not need to hold you down with anything because you're not hauling any special chemicals. Right?
No, correct. Yeah, Division 150, of course. And then for Division 150, also teams. If you have a team that is interested, um, you know, send them down, and we'll be more than happy to work them out. But yeah, 6 to 7 days out, up to 48-hour home time. Um, and when it comes to Division 150, if you have more than 2 years, you're at 50 cents, which will be averaging about the 15.25 on a weekly basis.
Okay, perfect. So the number that we need you to call if you're looking for a job is going to be 281-968-3100. 281-968-3100, or go to the website at rigonwheels.com, click on the driver application and complete the Intella app. and then one of the recruiters will definitely give you a call. And so that's how we do that. Give you a call, go over your application, ask you a lot of questions to make sure that we're submitting you to the correct company or companies, because we will submit you to more than one company. If these 3 jobs do not fit your fancy, that's okay. MVT does have other positions. These are the ones that they have the most openings for. But if MVT doesn't work for you, we do have other companies as well. So don't even worry about that. Another thing that I want to say, MVT hiring starts at 6 months experience. We do have companies that go down to 3 months, but with MVT, it is 6 months experience. Now, if you have a team and you do not have 6 months experience and the other person that is teaming with you has quite a bit of experience, definitely give us a call, because we are able to help you out with MVT with that. So no worries there. Either way, just give us a call, 281-968-3100, 281-968-3100, or go directly to the website at rigonwheels.com. And remember to pick up your calendar, your rig on wheel, your Faces of the Road 2024 calendar. So definitely do that as well. And we ship out within 2 days of you ordering your calendar. And your calendar is right there by your desk, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. The guy's already asking me where to get them. So send me, text me the the link or whatever, so I can share.
Definitely
so I can
will.
share with the guys.
Yeah, but tell them theirs will be a little bit more exclusive because they'll have the packaging, so nobody handprints will be on theirs. And I can send it either right there to the office or send it to their house. Either way, no
Gotcha.
big deal at all. Kayla, let's do this. Let's take a couple of more questions, because I see you had some more on here.
Josue, what are your top 2 red flags when you're talking to drivers?
When I'm talking to drivers, it's just, I guess, like for me, it's more like transparency. When I talk to a driver, so if a driver, I ask him something, he goes around the question or he doesn't answer the question directly, I just get a little bit nervous, because I'm like, we're an open book. Like, I'm here to help you out. I'm here to get you a job. If you have something, you know, maybe they think it's something, that might disqualify them, but it's something that maybe we could work, or we could help them, go around that and get them a job. So usually for me would be if they don't answer the question directly. That's one of my red flags that I have with drivers. Or what's another one? What would be another red flag? I would just say probably that for me is the one that kind of gets me like, you know, real quick, like in my feet. But another one would probably be um if I ask them for any documents, anything like that, for me to go ahead and help them get them approved even faster, and they say yes and they say yes, and then they don't send it to me. Sometimes it's kind of like, well, what are you hiding? Like, I'm here to help you out. So probably both, just communication and being transparent.
And so let me tell you, on the recruiter side, that comes across as, first of all, you're not a person of your word, so you're a liar. 1. 2, you're not professional. You're hard to deal with, all of that. Who wants to deal with you? Also, if they have 3 positions available and you are playing games, they would rather deal with a person that really is taking their job, their livelihood, whatever, seriously. For an example, Nimmer, one of the recruiters, we had a driver that was blowing up the phone, like wouldn't leave a message, but blowing up the phone. Texas call. Finally left a message. Great. We calling him back. submitting his application. It's time to now get some more information from him. Can't get a hold of him. We will never submit him again to a company of merit. Ever. He will always go to a bottom barrel company. That will be in his notes. As a third party company, we do not have the time to mess up a relationship with the MVT or like companies by sending them a driver that we know isn't professional. There are companies that are not taking drivers. There are companies that are still taking drivers first come, first serve. That's a company that gets that type of driver. So let me just say that. But once you're at the company and you're hired, that same driver is a driver that doesn't get along with his coworkers, his colleagues. He's not a team player. He doesn't play well in the sandbox. He doesn't know how to communicate. And I'm very sure in his personal life, he's heard this before. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. It doesn't make you bigger or badder because you dodge phone calls, because you go ghost. It really makes you very pathetic. Adults answer the phone. Adults do direct back and forth communication. Say what it is. Whatever it is, it's on your driving record, your PSP, your criminal background, your past employment background. Own it. That way people can help you. And they can literally tell you what it is or when it is you can do things. But when you play games like that, even if it is something that they can help you with, they won't, because you've given them the impression that you'll be the one that won't communicate with the dispatcher when they need to let the fleet manager know something. It's just that simple.
And to piggyback on that, that's exactly how Pierson thinks. He'll tell me, when was the last time you talked to him? Oh, it's because, every time I call him, he doesn't answer. He's like, okay, he's doing that to you now in the beginning stages without even being employed with MVT. What happens when, the dispatcher, the fleet manager, someone's trying to get out safety, someone's trying to get a hold of him. He's like, if he's doing this in the beginning stages, it looks like it's going to be a pattern once he's employed with MVT. So I'm with you on that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we definitely need all of the drivers to really, really understand. Really understand that. So what we want to challenge every driver to do is just step it up a notch. One notch. We know that majority of the drivers out there are professionals. So let me say that. But just step it up a notch. That way you can help somebody else step it up. Because we need to get our industry back to where it was versus where it is now. That's my thought behind it. That's my closing statement that I kind of want to close out with. What did you want to say, Josue?
I mean, I'm with you 1000%, that to bring the industry back to, how it was, before to now. And, just excited to talk to these drivers and, excited to get these drivers a job. So call in, check the website, email Rig on Wheels. We're excited. 281-968-3100. And we'll be more than happy to help you guys out.
Awesome sauce. Okay. So next week, guys, we have an awesome show for you. We got new location, the entire 9. So definitely be with us for April the 2nd. I'm very excited about it myself. But either way, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please be here with us. If not, always you are able to watch the show the next day once we post it. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.